It's as long as I'm still alive, because got a bit of a throat and lung issue as always. I'm going to re-record this because I want to be a little thorough. Because after I recorded my previous draft video, I always record draft videos for my personal channel, and I was about to publish it, and I realized I'm not being very thorough about what I'm saying here. So, in the draft video, I don't know if I want to edit it really that much, but in the draft video, I walked through that I made some choices for my design. First of all, I went from black and white and grayscale to blue. This has to do with the psychological reasoning for using blue is because it builds trust with the user. It reduces fatigue. And it's just a working color for a lot of institutions and companies like Head and Shoulders, even the Jumbo Milk and Facebook and Kinder letters are blue. So here's what I've been working on. Now, in the draft video before recording this one, I did not have this image here. It was just a placeholder. I'm gonna, for sake of this video, take it out so you understand what it looked like. It looked like this, and I explained, well, I didn't know what image to use for this, but I went with blue. And when I put this image here, I decided to really go with the color blue in the banners because, again, there's good reasons to use it. Now, personally, I don't like blue. I really don't like blue, but sometimes things work and you just have to kind of concede to this. Now, what was the video initially about? It was about the fact that I have a sign in and a create account up here. I don't know why my OBS isn't loading it. It's because I have a sign in and a create account link here, and they were active, so you could click them the same way I can click themes and I can click wireframe kits, and oh, that shouldn't be there, but the contradiction between me using this sign in create account and the video where I spoke about publishing the minimum viable design is because in that video I was discovering what it really means to have a minimum viable design, and this for me is minimally viable. Adding another section with a bunch of stuff about marketing, analytics, all of this is not minimally viable. So there are elements that you add, or at least so if, there are elements that I need to add to my design before I feel like it's minimally viable and therefore good enough to publish. In the video specifically, I went into the header. I explained the following. If I do this, right? Okay, I'm going to explain it after I remove it. If I remove all of these elements that are currently not functional, the ones that are top here, you can see that the design is becoming so incomplete. It's starting to feel so incomplete that it's not even a design anymore, and therefore it's not minimally viable. Now, you can be very fair about this. These are all placeholders, by the way, because I need to change the names of this. But let me go in here. Let me see where it's listed. I can't, for some reason, I can't find it. That's impressive. Okay. All right, I think it's all of this here. All of this. This, if you're fair, is what I currently have functional. As a matter of fact, even the search bar isn't functional because I have no search yet. And in the previous video, I was explaining the reason I don't even have a search yet, or I don't have a functional product system yet, besides it being pretty complicated, but that I didn't work on it is because I kept getting stuck. I did not like my designs. No matter what I did, it just sucked. Like it was draining my energy, and I kept changing something, and then it was good, and then I changed something else, and then everything was bad again. So I rolled to a completely new design, and this happened over and over for like 9 or 10 hours straight. And before you know it, it's 6 in the evening, and you really gotta stop, and you have achieved nothing. Now, thankfully, I use this little AI art here, and the color blue, and it got me feeling a little bit more optimistic about where I was going. But here's the issue. The issue I was running into is that even when you're trying to create this minimally viable design, it still needs to reflect some potential functionalities. When I said to what minimum means is it has to be the minimum amount of work to reflect a viable product. In other words, all of this stuff. Let me roll it back. All of this stuff is supposed to be here because we're creating a landing page for a marketplace. All right, I'm going to have a cart probably at some point. I'm going to have a little search icon. I'm going to have a currency swap here. I'm going to have a sign in and a create account. But what I should be doing to make it publishable is disable it. And in the video, that's what I did. I went over changing the sign in and create account to become disabled, so you can't do anything with it. But now it's starting to feel more complete. And maybe I'm wrong about this, right? Maybe I'm kind of changing my opinion compared to what I thought in the previous video. But this for me is workable. I'm now going to disable all of these buttons, disable the search bar so it doesn't, so you can't accidentally click on it and do something weird with it. And then I'm going to go with each element and implement the particular function for that element. Obviously, you would prioritize certain features. For instance, I want to have just home, about, and contact here, and then implement those static pages. And here, I can just put placeholder images. So in landing, I would go, for instance, I would search for bones. I would just either remove it entirely or put a placeholder image here. And this is what I mean. Now, in the future, I might have a bunch of other sections on this landing page, including like why you should use our product, or about our company, or here's from our blog. But that is beyond the minimum viable design. That is additional things. Is this beyond the minimum viable design? And not for me, because this is something I really want to have as an absolute minimum to my landing page, including the search bar and all of this. So I'm here to admit that I might have been wrong, or the headspace I was in the video, I was discovering what it really meant to have a minimum viable design. But anyway, this video is just about covering that I've been able to finally use a color blue instead of a color black, because I was using black and white because it made me feel like the design was more complete. But what does it mean for it to feel more complete? Well, apparently I was just missing certain things. You know, I was missing certain elements like sign in and create account. And now that I have this image here, I feel confident about making this blue. So maybe in a future video, I'll once again change my mind on this. It's very possible. As I'm going along, I'm kind of discovering the best workflow, especially considering that this is something I want to immediately publish to the site here, like I did with this. So anyway, oh yeah, also one of the things that I think that might be useful is getting a second perspective. Now, I don't have anybody on my Discord or anywhere that does anything that I do, right? I know engineers, but they're little engineers. They're not like engineers in software. They're not web developers. They're not game developers. So it's very hard to get a perspective. I also know of no designers. I've never known anybody who does web design. But maybe you can go online, either find a mentor or pay somebody. I'm probably going to put down a couple $100 to get somebody to reflect on what I'm doing here, and how to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. And obviously, all of this is a draft, so it's not going to look that great, but this is optional. Maybe sometimes what you're missing is a little sign-in button, or a little create account area, and somebody with a design eye can help you see this. Or if you're doing another line of work, whatever in that line of work makes you feel better. Uh, so that's it. Thank you all for watching my new TED Talk, and I'll see you in my next video where I will have completed the landing page and hopefully the product page, which is still completely up for work. I wish there was a waveform display here, honestly. Yeah.